Bump, bump.
Bum,
Bum,
bum, bum.
Kind of a sad bendy a little bit this morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant, joined by Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. How we feeling, fellas?
Is the right answer for me, and it's a lot of different things. It's the Dodgers losing 4 in a row and just being very, very frustrating to watch. And also, our internet is all jacked up, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be on this thing because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay on. Because if it was like yesterday, I'm not gonna be able to do it.
All right, well, we'll cross our fingers, get through it. But Parker, you had lasers, so that was cool.
You gotta have some sort of effect. I don't think the iPads are cool. Sorry,
that's too
my
bad.
Bendy's just hit a little different.
That's frustrating too. Then
you know what's frustrating, Marcus and Greg. Amidst this May, I decided I finally need to buy my Spectrum account. I've just been doing other ways to watch the game, and now that either I'm watching them here in the office or at home, I'm doing something else, and I finally buy the package, and Dodgers are performing like this, Marcus. It's disheartening.
It is disheartening, and we will get into all the disheartening in just a little bit. But first, I want to give a shout out to the folks at LAX. They are transforming the travel experience, saving guest time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right, let's just get into this. Greg, I think it's as simple as saying right now, the Dodgers have a starting pitching problem. I was going to say a pitching problem, but I feel like this all starts with the guys at the front who can't give this team any length, who continue to give up runs in the first couple of innings. I mean, it's frustrating when the Dodgers are down 2-3-0 before they even come to the plate. Right now, this really is on the shoulders of the starting pitching staff.
Yeah, 100% on the starting pitching staff because they are getting some hits. I mean, yesterday was just a complete anomaly. Brandon Pfaadt was not being able to. I don't know. It's just a weird name to say. But Brandon Pfaadt, whatever his name is, he was getting hit. He was getting hit hard too. They were hitting the ball hard and balls weren't dropping. And when that happens, you're not getting hits, you're kind of getting screwed. So I thought that was a weird game to lose. However, it's the starting pitching. It's going over and over again. It doesn't matter who starts the game, whether it's Jack Dreyer or Landon Knack or it's Gonsolin. Even Yamamoto is giving up runs immediately. And by the time the Dodgers come up to the plate, they're already down and they have to fight and crawl their way back to getting back to even. It happened with the Angels over and over and over again. And it happened again last night. So they need to find some way. And tonight is Yamamoto. He needs to find a way to be the guy, the ace, the stopper, the guy that Kershaw always was for so many years. The guy that comes in and just says, all right, I'm going 6-7 innings and you ain't getting anything off me tonight.
I mean,
but what we're not going to do, Greg, is say hashtag Yamamoto Day just yet.
We're not doing that yet. No, it's not Yama Day yet. I tried that last week. I crowned it hashtag Yoshi Day, and he went out and had his worst start of the season. So we're not going to do that just yet. But they do need some length. They need some quality out of guys. I mean, you talked about somebody going 6. I mean, ideally, you'd love to see somebody go 7. But that just doesn't seem to be in the cards. Last night, they went with a sort of bullpen game. Jack Dreyer was the opener. He got knocked around early on. Landon Knack came in. He got knocked around. And you hit it on the head, Greg, yesterday, that it looked early on like they were just going to say to Landon Knack that you just got to stay. You got to stick it out. Like, we can't keep going deep into the bullpen.
You're eating this.
Yeah.
Credit to him. He did.
With the most I think the most pitches thrown by a Dodger this year, right? He was over 100 pitches in that ball game.
Yeah, he was at 106. Yeah, he was at 106 the last I saw it, but but you got to give him credit, right? Like he had a terrible third inning. It was just a disaster, and at that point you're down 7-0. All you can do is go out and pitch, and he did just that. And he actually pitched pretty well for the rest of it, and went 100 plus pitches. Got through the 7th inning, even though that was only 4 innings for him. He still did what he needed to do to save the bullpen, because that could have been a disaster using so many guys in the bullpen. Instead, they used Sauer. and Dryer and Neck, and that was it.
Yeah, the good news, they have Thursday off. But the bad news, guys, they're going to have a stretch of, I believe, 19 games in 21, or I think it's even more. I think it's roughly 21 games in like 23 days. It's going to be pretty bad once they get to the Mets, Yankees, Gardos.
Well, and that's the other problem. It's not just the number of games that they have; it's the teams that they're facing. I mean, they're going on the road. They got to go to New York for 3 games against the Mets. They go to Cleveland for 3 games against the Guardians. Then they come home, and it's 3 against the Yankees. It's 4 against the Mets. So it is not an easy stretch coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. And Greg, the thing I've noticed with this pitching staff lately, 2 things have really hurt them more than anything. Walks and home runs. They are giving up home runs at an alarming rate right now.
Yeah, no, totally. They totally are. And it's everybody too. Again, it's Yamamoto is giving up home runs. When he's giving up runs, it's a home run. And I think I'm freezing, but I'm not sure. But either way, it's a home run. Like hitters are seeing every single pitcher and they're seeing them well. And it doesn't matter if it's starting pitching, it doesn't matter extremely well. They're getting bat on ball, home runs, and just hitting the ball hard. It's a little bit concerning. I am still we've seen this happen before. It happened last year. It's happened in years past that they go and they see that they go through stretches like this. And then I remember, I think it was last year, Marcus, what was it? Was it May or June? They were like, this is just a brutal June. And they got through it and with flying colors. Like when it's time to go, I think they'll be just fine. They just need some guys back. Like Kershaw is not going to be the savior this time. He's going to at least pitch, but he's not the savior. So it's really going to have to, you got to get all your dudes back. Sasaki, Glasnow, Snell back. And it has to happen sooner rather than later, to be honest.
We may get a Bobby sighting soon.
Should get a Bobby signing soon.
It's getting close, and he's been doing well his last 2 performances out in OKC. But like you said, Greg, I mean, this is a stitched together staff, and the fact that their ERA is, I think, 24th in the MLB right now, can't be too hurt because they committed $740 million, like you said, almost $1 billion to free agent pitchers over the last 2 off seasons, and only 2 of them, Yamamoto and Scott, are on the active roster.
Yeah, and that's sort of the issue too, right? I mean, you got Blake Snell, who was just transferred to the 60-day IL. Glasnow is still working his way back. Sasaki right now on the injured list. I guess the positive news is that some of these guys are starting to work out a little bit, starting to throw a little bit. Snell and Glasnow kind of on a throwing program a little bit. And I was reading this morning an article where it quoted Andrew Friedman, who acknowledged that, this is a rough stretch. They're trying to figure out how to cobble things together. But Greg, he also mentioned that they are still sort of exercising an abundance of caution with a lot of these guys, trying to keep things from escalating, trying to get to a situation where guys need surgery and that sort of thing. At what point, though, is it you're being too cautious and you just need to get arms back?
I think right now is the point where you still can be cautious. No matter what, they're one of the best records in all of Major League Baseball. I understand that you're in a division in the West that is actually pretty tight, especially against the Diamondbacks right now. But they are a team that, look, they're going to work out. At some point, there's going to be a 50-game stretch. We say it all the time. They're going to go 40-10. Like, that's just going to happen at some point because they're that good and their hitting is that good. I think no matter what, this team is built for the playoffs, and they're built to go deep into the playoffs and have one of the best pitching staffs ever assembled in the playoffs. They just need to all get them healthy. So do you want them pitching right now and healthy, Marcus, in May and early June, or do you want them pitching in July, August, September, October? So that's kind of where they look at, because we just have to take a step back. I understand I'm annoyed watching them. You're annoyed watching them. Parker, you're annoyed watching them. And the entire chat, obviously, BC is losing his mind in the chat right now. But no matter what, this team is still one of the best teams in all of Major League Baseball. And we just expect excellence. And I understand that. But they're going to be just fine. And it's going to take time to get there. They're just treading water as long as they possibly can, it seems like, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. Maybe Parker, I'm thinking like a big picture view, and Greg is right. The idea is to have these guys healthy and ready to go when we get to October. My fear is, though, that there's a staff that hasn't really figured out how to stretch itself out. Now, granted, it's not even a Memorial Day yet, but my fear is this is a team that gets to September, October, and you still are having a group of starters that you're happy if they get you into the sixth inning, and that in the long term still feels like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think it's the underlying numbers, that have been so upsetting. It's, it took certain pitchers. I think Knack at one point had a 16 pitch at bat with Moreno. It's the little things that when these guys are trying to salvage some sort of wins for Dodgers, it's taking so long to do it. And those are the things that are like really upsetting. And, I think with the patched work team like this, it's a very unique watch because you know that you're not getting what you could get, but at the same time, the offense is still performing and you look like you might be able to win each game. So that's just this weird dynamic with this Dodgers that I still haven't really gotten comfortable with because, granted, like Greg said, this team is built for the postseason. It's weird because I'm like, these are the types of moments where if we have guys who are injured, big guys, key guys, like all these ones we've named in this episode, it could be a little worrisome even in October.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's some of it, right? Is that you're waiting for some of these guys to come back. Now, I mean, Greg, I think some of this too helps when you get some of these bullpen arms back too, right? I mean, still missing Trinan, still waiting for Kopech to come back. Now you've got Kirby Yates on the injured list. I mean, I guess that's the watchword, right? That's the buzzword for this episode is just patience right now, just to wait for what?
I think it's always patience from the beginning of this year. We all want to be in the playoffs right now, right? We want to see them fighting for a World Series right now, but that's just not where we're at. We're in the middle of May, and we have to be patient. Yes, so yes, patience. It's really look. I love what Luis Garcia did for the Dodgers for a short amount of time, but I don't expect to see him very much longer. Like he's not going to be an important piece of this bullpen, but he's getting important innings right now because he has to get important innings right now. We don't have Blake Trinan. We don't have, Yoendry Gomez was getting innings. Like this is just right now. It's mix and match. That's why they used Matt Sauer yesterday, who had actually been pretty decent until giving up another home run to your point about the home runs. This is just, it's such patchwork nonsense right now. If they can just hold float and just stay right at the top of the division for as long as they possibly can. Look, if they would have won 2 out of 3 against the Angels or even won one of those 3 and it wasn't a 4-game losing streak, I don't think we'd be as upset as we are right now. And Yamamoto could shut it all down and we win today and we can come back tomorrow and be like, all right, hey, look at that. They put up 11 runs. They're hitting the ball hard like they have been every single game against the Diamondbacks. This isn't anything new what they did last night. They've been hitting since last week when they played the Diamondbacks last week. They consistently hit the ball hard. It just was because Corbin Carroll makes stupid catches every once in a while. Like this is there. I really think they're going to be fine. The offense is going to carry them. It just things weren't falling.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because watching it last night, Thought went through 6 innings. Thought went through 6 innings. Didn't have a swing and miss.
Not one.
Yeah, you talk about them hitting the ball hard. The Dodgers didn't swing and miss. I think the first swing and miss came when Teoscar Hernandez struck out. I think in the 7th inning. Like that was it. So, maybe it is a little bit of bad luck, at least last night. Certainly, though, but being down 7-0 before you get your first hit isn't going to help your situation at all. I'm seeing a lot. I've seen a lot in the chat, not just today, but in general about Max Muncy. Parker, how are we feeling about Max Muncy? Because it seems like offensively he's kind of starting to come around. People are very concerned about his defense. I mean, considering they've moved on from Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor, like I don't expect Muncy to get DFA'd, but do they need to make a change at third base?
The longest tenured Dodger, Max Muncy, or when he's having a performance like this season, I like to call him, and my dad likes to call him Muntz Maxey. It's interesting because you see him at least on the other end, he's performing at a above average level, and that's I think the best thing we can ask for is that if you're going to be struggling on the defensive end, you are Max Muncy, and every single year you find a way to figure it out. I think Clint Pasillas maybe was mentioning this yesterday, Greg. He will
I couldn't
find
hear him yesterday. So.
Yeah, yesterday's internet maybe it held you from this conversation, but he made a good point about of anyone on this Dodgers team outside of, the guys like Mookie, Shohei, Freddie. Muncy is the type of guy who, when he's going through a struggle, he'll find that chiropractor. He'll find that, the glasses kind of have helped a little bit. So there's something that Muncy will do, and I'm still confident that he's going to be okay. And of all the things we need to overreact to, I don't think Muncy's the one. He's the vet that I am pretty confident in will be okay, at least come playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to come around. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, good. It's really just Muncy. I was going to add on to that because you're absolutely right, Parker, is that over the last week, I think the glasses did help. Over the last week, so the last 7 days, he's hitting 300 with a 400 on base percentage, 650 slug. He has 9 RBIs, 2 home runs, a double, and 6 hits. I think that just shows you that while because we saw what Max Muncy did early in the season where he couldn't get a hit and he was striking out a ton, that when he does strike out, by the way, he only has 2 strikeouts in the last week. So things are changing, and he has 3 walks. So those things are starting to change for him. Balls are starting to drop. That BABIP, the batting average of balls in play, that's all starting to get better. So Muncy is not the guy that I'm worried about. At some point, he may be on one of those people like the Chris Taylors and the Austin Barnes and have Alex Freeland find his way up. But as of right now, he's not the issue in the lineup.
No, I don't think so either. And honestly, I'd say over the last few days, I haven't had a ton of complaints about the offense. A couple of nights where they didn't really generate a lot. They didn't score a lot of runs. But for the most part, I think the offense has been good enough for them to win or at least be competitive. It's just they find themselves looking up. And, it's hard to have to come back from 2, 3, 4 runs every couple of innings. And that has sort of been where the offense is. The other part of this, Greg, is how many more times do we think we see Hassan Kim in center field?
Oh God, I think that he just looks uncomfortable in center field. I think it really is, and I think a lot of it has to do with Tommy Edman. When I saw Tommy Edman at second base and Hassan Kim at center field, I was like, what is happening here? Why are those two not flipped? And I think it's because of the ankle. I think because he's coming off the ankle injury, don't want him running around as much and you can move a little bit less at second base and not having to run all around the outfield. So that seems what that's for. In the next week or whatever it happens to be, those will be flip-flopped, I think. We'll see Kim at second base mostly and Edman in center would be my guess.
I wowould think so. I mean, I think this is, as you mentioned, kind of a stopgap measure for the time being, just to make sure that Edman's 100%. It's weird because they did that a couple of weeks ago. I feel like they had Kike at second base and Kim in center field, which I don't know what kind of center field Kike Hernandez can play, but it's not Kim's natural position. To your point, he just looks like he's still figuring things out there. And then every now and then, like I think we saw it in Arizona, and then we saw it again last night against the Diamondbacks, where he just loses a ball essentially. And it ends up being a big play on the other side. So, we'll see how things go.
That to me also real fast. To me also is that they want him to have a better positionality. They want him to be able to be as dynamic as possible. So these, again, they're trying to get him out and get some reps out into the outfield so that if they need him in the outfield later on, he's there because they want to keep his bat in the lineup. They want to keep his speed in the lineup, and they want his defense in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of it too. Just trying to get him there. I know they love guys who can play multiple positions. They've done a great job with it. Guys like Chris Taylor when he was playing well. Kike Hernandez, Tommy Edman. They do love having those guys who can sort of be multi-positional guys when they need them to be. All right, let's turn to tonight because the Dodgers back in action, trying to end a 4-game losing streak. They are taking on the Diamondbacks once again. And it is Yamamoto getting the start. Parker, this time last week, we were all excited, and it's Yama Day, and we're going to get fired up, and then it went bad. Is that just a speed bump, or what are you looking for tonight from Yamamoto?
I mean, well, if we can get 6, and we've said this so many times in this series in the Blue Review, if we can just get 6 innings, I mean, I don't expect him to be like Knack and go 100 and something pitches, but just give us a solid. We can't be down 1-0 before the offense gets to at bat, because I think it's 5 games straight. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 5 straight games that they've been down at least 1-0 going into their at bats. So that's all we want. Give us a 0.
Right?
Just a 0, Yama. It doesn't need to be a shutout, but start the game with a 0.
Step 1, Greg, like the Dodgers don't give up a run in the first inning challenge. Right now, the difficulty has been impossible for this group. I mean, let's just, knock on wood, this doesn't happen. But if Yama comes out and has another bad start, where's your concern level going to be?
I won't be that concerned. It depends on, I want to see what it actually looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like so 2 games ago, he gave up 5 runs, but that was all in the 5th inning after he looked like he was just strolling through the first 4. He was not great against the A's. That was a mess of an outing for him, where he gave it up early, but then settled down and got back into who he was. So I think he's going to be just fine. I think for the most part, we're going to see the guy that had like a .98 ERA coming into those last 2 starts. I think it was been 1 inning, it seems like, for him, that he's just giving up a couple bad pitches. Iron those things out, and he'll be just fine. I don't expect him to give up nothing every single outing. Like that's insanity. But so I'm not going to be worried about Yama unless there's something that is going on where it's a continuing thing. Like, give me 3 more starts. If he's giving up 3-4 runs in all 3 of those starts, then it's gonna be like, all right, there's something going on with this guy, and we need to figure out what it is. But he cannot afford to go on the IL right now. He needs some dudes back before he can even think about any IL stint, if he's gonna have one.
Yeah, that's the other part, is like the guys who are here need to stay here for the time being until reinforcements can come back. Have you guys seen any updates on Glasnow, other than I know he's throwing again, but do we have anything more than that with him?
Last thing I read literally this morning was that he's a tick above Snell, but there is still no timetable.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
They were out there. There was pictures. Snell and Glasnow were out there on the throwing in the outfield, obviously just playing catch. Like Kershaw was playing catch with Snell, and Glasnow was playing catch with somebody else. So they're getting close. They're not throwing to hitters. They're not off a mound. So yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yeah. But hopefully the timeline gets sped up a little bit just to get guys back. If for no other reason than just peace of mind. It would be nice. It would be nice that the starting rotation resembles something close to what we anticipated it being. And I thought Clinton Yates made a good point yesterday. I was on with DeMarco and CY for a little bit. And he did make the point that so far, the Dodger front office has not really been able to fully evaluate its pitching staff and really start to, set those building blocks for what's to come potentially in the postseason, because they haven't had everybody here at the same time. So sooner rather than later would certainly be nice.
Well, we didn't have, for a long time, we didn't have Shohei, Mookie, Freddie in the lineup together.
True.
And then now we're not having Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Sasaki in the rotation together. So eventually we're going to have a full team. And when we have a full team, I hate this whole saying, just wait till we're healthy. But it really is. It's wait till we're healthy, because it's a really, really long season. And these guys, as long as they're healthy come July, I think we'll be just fine.
I mean, I know we're wrapping up, but you're exactly right, Greg, because it's not all doom and gloom. You look on the other end, Mookie now has more home runs as a Dodger than a Red Sox. He has I think he has 1 error in like 148 tries. Ohtani league leading in home run, and with Teoscar back, Tommy back, getting their legs under them, we'll be okay.
Yeah. Still 114 more games to go, including tonight. So definitely a long way to go. And we will be here pretty much for all of it on the Blue Review from 8:30 to 8:55 every weekday morning. Stick around. Travis and DeMarco coming up here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. But thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate all of your participation, even if it's just a chance to vent for about half an hour or so in the morning. We're here for that too as well. So another edition of Blue Review in the books here for Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman. I am Marcus Grant. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you here again tomorrow morning. That's it.
See you.
Blue Review.
Blue Review.